Hello everyone and welcome back to another Wizard101 video. Today, I figured I would go over a topic that I see a lot of hubbub about, a lot of people talking about constantly. I figured I would weigh my thoughts in on it, tell you what I think about it because it's a pretty important thing to talk about. But before we get into it, make sure to hit that sub button. I want to hit 4,000 by the end of the year. I'm like, 30 off, 70 off, somewhere in there. It literally you could do it in a day if you wanted to. If you just went and smacked that sub button, go for it. If not, that's okay too. But let's get into this video, which I'm going to be titling The Future of Wizard101. Now, what this video is on and what I'm talking about specifically is that I see a lot of people who say, and by a lot of people I mean like a significant portion of people who say why Wizard101 is going to die, why Wizard101 is going to die by this year, why it's going to shut down by this year. I want to talk about this because I think a lot of people are under the misguided conception that Wizard101 is currently dying. I think a lot of people think that this game is going in a downward direction right now, when really it is the complete opposite. So let me talk about why. So first off, why do people say this game is dying? Because that's the crux of the issue that we need to get to here. Why do people say this game is dying? Well, it's rather simple, is that the player base has steadily been declining for quite a few years. I would say the peak was probably around 2014, 2015, and then around 2016 it started lessening and lessening, and now we're at a steady point, I would say, in the game's career. I would say that we're not really gaining players, but we're not really losing too many either. We're at a point where all of the people who aren't invested in the game have been kind of culled out and removed, and now it's just the people who are still here after years. What's important about this is that people seem to think that because the player base declined, it is still declining. That isn't true, I would say. Yes, the player base declined for a long time, like a long time, but I'd say now we've reached a steady point. It's been at a steady point for about a year or two. I just don't think people have really realized that yet, where not a lot of people are quitting anymore, and the people who do quit usually come back, and it's like this constant cycle of doing that. And I'd say that that's a pretty steady point that the game is at right now, where the player base isn't declining, but it's not inclining either. Now that I've established the fact that the player base is stagnant, why would I say that the game isn't dying? Because a stagnant player base isn't good for any game, right? Like, no game wants their player base to be a stagnant, never-increasing thing, especially an MMO that runs off memberships. Well, the reason why I say this is because everything around them and what I think is going to be in a massive increase in player base in the future. Now, I would like to say I'm not just being hopeful here. I know for a fact that the player base might be at stagnant right now, but King's Isle itself is on a massive up and up. Like, it is on an upward trend of the century. Like, it is right now bigger than it has been in about 5 years. And there's a few reasons for that. First off, Gamigo bought King's Isle around a year ago now, right? And when people first heard that news, there was one of two reactions. There was my reaction, which is, yeah, that's okay. I mean, I don't like corporate conglomerates. Like, I've said that before. I think that they're inherently usually bad for games. But on the flip side, I think that it is exactly what King's Isle needs right now. King's Isle hasn't had the money to function properly in a long time. And what they need is someone who can give them money to function. And in this case, that was Gamigo. Gamigo bought them out and gave them a bunch of money. Now, a lot of people also had the reaction, and this is the flip reaction, is of a massive negative one. And the reason for that is that Gamigo has been known in the past to, screw with some MMO games and make them, quite poor, right? And a lot of people don't like that. Obviously, they don't want Wizard101 to change and be, massively pay to win. Well, the thing is that after a year now, nothing's really changed. I would say that nothing that King's Isle has done in the last year directly looks like it's influenced by Gamigo. The packs have been releasing at the same rate that they have been for the last few years. These bundle things are kind of new, but no one really buys them anyway. Worlds have been released at the same rate. Nothing really is more pay to win than it has been in the last few years. Spell limits are becoming less pay to win as time goes on, so there's that. Overall, I'd say Gamigo, it's kind of been shown, hasn't messed with King's Isle yet. which gives me a good hope for the future and makes me think that they're probably going to let KingsIsle take the front seat in this operation. Now that that's established, let's go over the biggest reason why I think this game is going to last an extra little bit and why I don't think it's going to just die. The devs. This is huge. The devs. There's two things you need to understand. First off, the devs care about this game. I've seen it firsthand with the roundtable. The devs do really genuinely care about this game. They hear the player base, they understand their reactions, and they base what they're doing off of it. Now, one thing that's important to know is that the devs are a bit smarter than you. I know that that's like something you don't want to hear, but a lot of people complain about certain changes in this game, but there's certain changes that they think about that's better in the long run for the game that you don't really think about. Like, for example, the damage cap, shadow pip rating, all that was changed in mind of the future. Now, do I agree exactly with how they did all those changes? No, but that doesn't mean I can say necessarily that they were completely awful changes, because some of them do genuinely have the longevity of the game in mind. And I know for a fact that the damage cap is going to raise as time goes on, because I was told that by the devs in the roundtable stream. And I think that that's important to know, is that if the devs have the future of this game in mind, they're going to try to improve this game for the future, which is exactly why I think it's going to last quite a long while. Now, let's go into the exact reason why I made this video, because there was a thing that sparked this video that made me think, okay, now's the time to do this video, and now's what I want to do, is there is a little bit of a sneaky thing that I've noticed. And it's not really a sneaky thing, it's just a thing that KingsIsle has done that most people probably don't know about, but I wanted to talk about, is that KingsIsle recently posted 15 new job offers on their website. Now, I don't know if you guys know why this is a big thing. You might not. Back in around 2015, 2016, 2017, somewhere in there if I remember correctly, KingsIsle kind of started running out of money. And how we knew this is, they let off about like half their dev team. Like, I don't know if you guys remember this, but it was huge back in the day. Like, they let off a significant portion of their dev team, like quite a few people, and a lot of people saw that instantly as, oh god, the game is going to die. And I did too, you know, I kind of thought like, uh-oh, KingsIsle is going to have some problems if they're losing half their dev team. We're already kind of slowing down on world rate, and we have since slowed down on update rate since. So I think that it was a scary time. Now, they have 15 new job offers. 15. I don't know if you guys realize that is a lot of job offers for one company, which means, and I can only think of this logically in my head, is that the money that Gamigo is giving KI has decided it's time to use. This money will be used to pay their devs, to pay more devs and more designers, more leads on different teams, to actually benefit the game and make the game a better game overall. And it's important to mention, these aren't just any old jobs. They aren't like, okay, we need a secretary. These are, we need a lead game designer. We need a senior manager, a senior marketing manager. There was quite a few things with marketing, actually, and I'm willing to bet quite a bit of money, actually, that they're going to hire quite a few new devs to actually run this game and help make this game a better place. Now, the biggest thing I saw out of those was that senior marketing manager. I don't know if that's the exact job title, but there definitely was something about marketing in there. And the important thing to note about having a marketing manager or someone who's in charge of that is that we actually might get some marketing again in the future. Right now, the reason why the player base hasn't increased is because KingsIsle hasn't been advertising their game. Wizard101 hasn't been advertised beyond like small ads on different websites for years. I could see, and I'm willing to bet we'll see, some pretty major changes to how the advertising of this game works, and hopefully from that, we will see an increase in player base. So ultimately, that's what I wanted to make this video on, was my reasons why I think that Wizard101 isn't really dying, and why I think Wizard101 is actually on an upward trend right now, rather than a downward trend. Again, I really made this video just to kind of talk to the people who are like, why Wizard101 is going to die by this year, why it's ending, all that stuff, because I genuinely think that you're not looking at the bigger picture right now. Right now, this game is in the best, it has the best potential for the future that it's had in years. like since probably 2015. This is the best potential this game has had, and I am ready for it. So, KingsIsle, please don't disappoint me. Make this happen. This game will go places, and I believe it will go places. So, thank you all for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe. Go support me financially on Patreon, and thank you to NJA for supporting me. You really mean the world to me. Make sure to go join my Discord server. We're having a movie night like this Saturday or something, so if you want to join that movie night and have a good time, you know, watching some movies, feel free. Otherwise, that's it. Thank you all for watching. I will see you in the next video. Adios.